Hey guys, this is Kyle with Rogers Family Roofing. I'm out here over at the Turner residence performing a shingle repairability test. Just to give us a really quick shot of the property so that way we can verify I'm at where I'm at. We have the detached structure in the background over there. So what we're doing today is we're going to pull this shingle here. The shingle does have some damage on it. I bracketed out the shingle that we intend to pull with these brackets. I've also gone ahead and I've actually numbered all of the appliques here just in case we have any cascading damages. That way we can talk about it and have these things be easily identifiable. So we'll come right over here, right next to us here, and this is going to be our sample or control area. Yeah, there's a piece of storm damage right here as well, but as we can see from these shingles, all of these shingles are nicely tabbed down. No big deal. The overall condition of the roof is it's got granules on it, and it looks pretty okay given the age that this roof is at. So anyways, to get started here, I'm going to take my tool, and I do have to delaminate, of course, the shingle we're pulling, and I have to go 2 courses above that in order to access the fasteners. So we're just going to slip in nice and gentle. It's not wanting to come up right there, so let's come to the other side, see if we have any more luck there. There we go. And what you'll notice here is I'm being very, very gentle with my tool. I'm keeping it as flat as I possibly can in order to separate the shingle from the adhesive strip at the bottom here. I don't want to over manipulate the shingle. There we go. We did get a little bit of mat transfer I could feel, and we can actually see that right there. Some really good mat transfer, but we'll have a better view of that once I get the rest of the shingle freed. So we've got our repair shingle freed up. Let's come up underneath here. Okay, go to the other side. Again, I'm looking for the easiest way in to not over manipulate these shingles. Applique number 4 is actually already starting to separate. You can see right here at the corner. But we press on. Okay, keep it moving, keep it moving. Okay, the shingle immediately above our repair area is pulled. Now let's go to the shingle above that. Interesting thing here already is we might have a fastener that's already pulled through in the shingle right next to us here, directly above applique number 6. But press on. So I think we're going to be okay with that. I'm going to try not to do that one anymore because it's not directly in line, but sometimes these can give us some problems. So moving up to our second shingle above that, we start separating us here. And as we see right there, that is already torn a little bit there. Let's go to the other side though. See if we have any better luck there. And not really, you guys. Okay, so we'll go this way a little bit so that way maybe we can gain some access from above and then come in and try and slip the tool downwards. No real access point on the shingle, so we're gonna have to very gently get up underneath. There we go, and separate. And as you saw from there, I got very gently underneath the shingle, just enough to separate the adhesive strip. There we go. So everything is separated. Okay, so now that we've got the shingles themselves delaminated, we're going to go and we're going to start to identify where our fasteners are at. Got a fastener right there. The fastener location is perfect, right in the nail strip line. Just slowly work that in, and unfortunately, that fastener popped through. But we press on. Okay, first nail pulled. Just drop that in my tool bag. Moving on to the next set of nails. There's another nail right there, directly below where we already had some mat transfer. Gently work it up. There we go. That one came out just fine. There we go. Second fastener is out. Pardon me, I'm actually going to remove my hammer from the bag just so that way I'm not fighting with it at the same time. Okay. Next fastener, right up there. There we go. That fastener is out. Give it just a little bit of a jolt just to get it pulled the rest of the way. And our fourth and final fastener on this shingle. There we go. Okay, our first row of fasteners has been pulled. Let's now move on to our second row. There's a fastener right there. Gently get my tool under there. Made contact. Start to wiggle it loose. There we go. And we can already see there's actually quite a bit of granules popping off this while I'm doing this repair. At the end of the day, the average laborer is not going to take the same amount of time and care to remove these shingles that we are doing today. There we go. More granule loss coming off of this. We'll talk about that here more in just a second. Okay, and then last two right here. Okay, there's one. We are getting a little bit of a crease developing right here on this shingle right next to applique number 11. And that is just from getting our tools underneath this thing, letting our tools do the work here, not our hands. And we can see all that lots of granules are coming off from this roof already. So got our last two fasteners pulled. See if we can get this guy out. Slides right on out. And then lots and lots of granule loss here, you guys. Lots and lots. And of course we have that mat transfer right there. Listen, at the end of the day, granule loss is not a technical cause of any sort of loss, but at the end of the day, again, we need to have granules on this roof in order for the roof to retain its water shedding capabilities. So I'm kind of curious about something though. I'm actually going to come one shingle beneath us here and see if we can get this fastener pulled out. This roof feels like two layers, you guys. And as we can see here, this roof has two layers. Let me see if I can get a flashlight under this thing so we can see even better. Yeah, there is a second layer of roofing underneath this roof, and that's a little bit what I was worried about just as I was pulling these nails out. At the end of the day, you guys, the issue with that though is we're going to really struggle with ensuring that we have proper nail depth penetration here, working all the way through both layers of roofing. Additionally, the other thing we have to contend with here is the reusage of materials, which is a violation of the 2018 IRC Chapter 9. And I can reference that in the comments on this, but we press on. But at the end of the day, that code states that we cannot reuse damaged or deteriorated materials, especially if they're of aggregate nature, such as shingles. So realistically, this repair cannot happen. But you know, let's assume that it can. We're here to see how the rest of the roof responds to any sort of manipulation. So I have our shingle here. This is the closest shingle I could find, given the speed in which we need to operate and move on this thing. And as you can already see, this shingle is quite a bit too long. Now we're almost at like 3 inches too long, 2.5 inches. So this shingle will need to be trimmed down. The trimming of shingles is it's only permitted according to manufacturer guidelines at the rakes. So at terminations, the rakes, and in valleys, not in the middle of the field like this. But again, we press on. So all I'm going to do right here with this is I'm just going to go through. I'm going to kind of just start my score line, just so I kind of know where I'm at. Mostly so I can cut through this strip right here. There we go. Okay, change my knife out to a different one. Okay. There we go. And we're already running into an issue here. I cannot get this shingle up any further to make it so that way our exposure lines up with everything properly. What we're running into now is now compatibility of materials. According to 2018 IRC, shingles must be compatible with each other in accordance with the manufacturer's spec and guidelines, and I cannot get this shingle up any higher, which then leaves us with a pretty significant overhang, as we see right here. Let me see if I can try and nope. I have bottomed out, and it's because this is a 2-layer roof. It is hitting the shingles beneath this, preventing this from going up any higher. But with that being said, we press on. So let's go and start getting these fasteners back into place here, shall we? Grab my first nail here, and we press on. So one thing we're also seeing over here is across applique number 1, just getting this lifted up, and just so we can see the angle on this. This is not even 30 degrees, and it's already developing a massive crease right in the middle of this one. You can see it here on applique number 2, but again, we press on. So let's go and get our first nail in place here. Doing everything I can just to get this shingle barely lifted up enough to clear my hammer. Just struck the shingle here, right below applique 1. There we go, big crease right there. Okay. Second nail going in. Now make sure we space these evenly. Crease is developing further across applique number 2 here. There we go. Nail number 3, I'm going to put that right here. Just struck applique number 4 right there. Struck applique 4 again. And then our last one here, we got to somehow get this nail in there. Actually, what we're seeing here as well is we have a hinge point right here next to applique number 5 and a little bit of a tear. And that was just from pulling this out. Let me see if I can try and get a little further underneath this one. And this is why I like to try and go just a little bit further if I can. There we go, kind of. We do have some mat transfer here, and as we can see right there, and that shingle did tear further right here, but we press on. Okay, now we've got the clearance, but let's see what we can do on this one. Yeah, and that tear just increased even further. And then we have applique number 6 that is popped everywhere in the middle, barely hanging on right there. Again, we press on though. Okay. I'm do my best to try and reuse some of these nail holes here though as well, just so that way we can keep water entry points at a minimum. Oh my goodness, come on now. I'm really struggling here with this one, just because I don't want to over manipulate this. And we can actually see here applique 7, it's got a crease on it, as well as this one over here. I can't, I have to get this up a little higher. He is not. Come on. Yeah, big crease here on applique 7. Just heard one of them pop. I think that was number 9. Okay. And we can see here, big crease on 9. Number 10 is creasing, both here in a valley and here in a peak. And that's just from getting this lifted up high enough to clear the hammer. Obviously, we already had this corner right there, but again, we press on. We can see right here, and this is just with me holding the nail in place, we can see right there across applique number 11. Yeah, big crease right there now. Last nail, and then we will assess the condition. This one should be hopefully the easiest one. And yeah, even bigger crease there, and actually tear. So let's go through and let's take a look at everything. We're going to